we are starting with amendment number 3. We are going to cover 3, 4, and 5 today. So all you left-brainer type A personalities will have a little bit of relief because we will be going in order for those 3. So, ready, set. Good morning on this fine sunny day in Lake Erie, and it got really bright really fast. So I probably should not turn that way because I can't see. But if you look behind me, you'll see beautiful Lake Erie. It's very calm. It's peaceful. You've got lots of houses over there. You got the park. You got all kinds of stuff going on.
I've been stared at quite a bit for the last 3 days. I'm surprised we didn't cause a wreck yesterday on Middle Ridge Road.
Well, hopefully we won't cause a wreck today. But anyways, over here, Lake Erie again, in case you've never seen it before. If you haven't, that's weird because it is Lake Erie and you live less than a mile from it probably. But Mr. Hamilton, tell us a little bit about Lake Erie.
Well, we got Lake Erie right here. That if you went to the other side of Lake Erie, that's Canada. That's a whole other country.
Oh, right? Canada.
Lake Erie is one of 5 Great Lakes that originally was the northern border of the Northwest
Northern border of the Northwest Territory.
If you go that way.
Over there. That'd be to the right.
That way, you're going to eventually have to go over Niagara Falls.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
And then after going over Niagara Falls in a barrel,
if you live
into Lake Ontario.
Another Great Lake.
And then once you take out Lake Ontario, it'll take you to the St. Lawrence Seaway, which you'll go past over 1,000 islands. And then you'll pass the St. Lawrence Seaway and it'll take you into the North Atlantic.
Mr. Hamilton, I'm beginning to think he's a history teacher.
I just play one on TV. And I'm kind of a nerd.
This is not TV. You are a nerd. I will agree to that.
That's hurtful. That's very hurtful. But this is one of our great natural resources. So many people just come out to Lake Erie to enjoy, to go fishing, to go boating. Not this time of the year. It's kind of chilly right now. A lot of bald eagles in the area, a lot of birds.
You know, one thing that's nice too is you got these people that live. Whoa, there's the sun. Look at that, the sun. Woo!
The golden orb in the sky.
You got all these things that just appear out of nowhere today. What?
I think there's something out there.
What do you mean there's something out there? There's fish.
No. There's something way, way out there, Mrs. Grau.
What are you talking about? I see nothing. Oh my gosh! It's a ship!
Oh my gosh! That looks like a warship.
Is that a Canadian flag on that ship?
Oh, that's definitely a Canadian warship.
I don't know. I don't see it, eh?
I can smell the maple syrup. I can see those hockey sticks. That's a Canadian warship.
Oh my gosh. We need the military to come help us out. I think Canada's coming to evade us, Mr. Hamilton.
Coming. They're pointing their guns right at us.
Oh my gosh.
What do we do, Mr.
There's all these people here. What are we going to do to help all these people at Lake Erie when Canada's coming to attack us? And I hear their national anthem. It's totally Canada coming to get us. We need the military. Good thing we have an executive branch in Article 2 of the Constitution. We're not doing amendments yet. Article 2 of the Constitution. Look, you stole their boat.
I got their boat. Victory. I flushed victory from the jaws of defeat.
Good thing. In Article 2, the executive branch says the president controls the military. I'm pretty sure we should contact the president and have him send the military so we can stop those Canadians from fighting us. Are they fighting us?
I think they're invading.
Oh, wartime. Which, in the Third Amendment of the United States, this will be Amendment number 3. We are going to have an issue if the military comes to help protect us from the evil Canadians on Lake Erie. Why is that going to be an issue, Mr. Hamilton?
Where are we going to put all our soldiers? Where are we going to house them at? There's going to be a lot of soldiers here.
Tents? Well, I was thinking it would be good if they had those cabins, but it looks like they tore all those down in Sand Park.
Well, can't we just put them in all these glorious houses?
That's not going to be enough room.
What about the house over there?
We're going to have to quarter them. You know, like they did back in Revolutionary Wartime? They quartered the soldiers, house and feed them.
I thought that's the reason we had the Third Amendment, is we didn't like quartering and we didn't want to have troops in private people's homes.
Well, that is true. But according to the Third Amendment to the Constitution, it says citizens in America do not have to house and feed their soldiers unless we are in a time of war. And there's a law that specifically says so. So if Canada is really coming and they're really coming to attack us and we declare war, or Congress declares war because that's their job, then technically, as long as they write an executive order and a law that says we have to quarter soldiers, we have to quarter soldiers in our
So
house.
there'd be like platoons and squad leaders and whatnot in my house.
Yes, but they're here to protect you from the Canadians.
You're right. I don't want those stinking Canadians on American soil.
Where'd the boat go? The boat left.
I think they left.
Oh, maybe they just came not to attack us. Maybe they're just looking for Justin Bieber and take him back home.
Oh, that would be terrible. I'd be so sad if Justin Bieber went home, but the boat's gone.
Baby, baby, baby. Go home.
When I was 13.
Not singing the Lonely song, though.
I can't sing the other ones, the Justin Bieber.
I don't know anymore. So, anyways, according to the Third Amendment of the United States in the Bill of Rights, it says American citizens do not have to quarter their soldiers unless in time of war, and if the law specifically says they have to. So that would be temporary. And odd fact, Mr. Hamilton, guess what?
You have an odd fact?
Yes, I do have an odd fact about the Third Amendment. Did you know that the Third Amendment is the only amendment in the Constitution that we have not had to impose yet? We haven't had to do it.
So let's just get rid of it then.
No, you can't get rid of it because as soon as you get rid of it, that's when you'll need it.
Let's go 1, 2. Well, if we get rid of the Third Amendment, we'll never have to teach it ever again.
Well, we still have to teach it because once you put something in the Constitution, it doesn't ever come out.
There's no way to get it out of the Constitution?
Well, you can repeal it, but it just gets crossed out, but it's still there.
Can't we just go on Wikipedia and edit it out?
Oh, he's not that bright. We'll work on that. But so Third Amendment, moving on. I think we should talk about the Fourth Amendment because I'm very type A and this whole like out of order stuff is really stressing me out. You like going out of order?
I love going out of order.
If he could speak today. You know what? Hey! What is that you're wearing? What's with the backpack?
A jacket.
No, the backpack. Turn around. What are you doing with the backpack? What is in the backpack?
I'm just wearing a backpack. I mean, those kids have backpacks.
Wait a second. It's red.
So
are you a Canadian spy?
What are you suggesting? I'm a red-blooded American.
Then you must be a Chardon supporter. Either way, that backpack has no business being here.
Who amongst us lives in Chardon?
Well, he's got me there.
Pretty sus.
You don't see me with a red backpack.
Right,
what you got in there? What do you have in the backpack?
I'm not telling you.
Why not?
It's my property.
I know it's not our props because they're all over there, but I want to know what's in the backpack.
Tough.
I'm pretty sure they want to know what's in the backpack.
No, they don't want to know what's in my backpack.
Show me.
Nope.
Well, if he doesn't, I bet I could call the police and tell him, ooh, Mr. Hamilton just stole stuff from me. I need to see his backpack. Search it.
You have a cell phone? Call the 911. There's somebody with a backpack up by the lake. I'm sure they'll come flying right away.
I'll say they look very sus.
Ooh,
among us.
The 5'0" Oompa Loompa with a backpack. Yeah, I'm sure I'm really sus.
Where did Oompa Loompas get into this conversation?
Oompa.
No, you got to do the.
I've got another problem for thee.
And that is that he won't show us what's in his backpack.
When you want to look in the backpack, no.
The Fourth Amendment to the United States is going to help me out, I think. Well, actually, it won't help me out, but I'm going to ask the police to help find what's in your backpack. So when they come, they're going to look in there because I'm going to say he stole stuff from me.
They can't look in my backpack.
Why not?
They cannot. The Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment.
That would be four. Oh, wait. I got mittens on that hand. Fourth Amendment
says in order for them to search my property, they need either a warrant.
A warrant. That is when you go to a judge and you get the official paperwork that says you can search somebody's property.
And there is not a single judge that's going to say, hey, I got enough reason to go into my backpack.
Maybe I'll call Judge Judy. She'll do anything.
Number 2.
The second thing they need
they would need probable cause.
Which is a good reason, meaning you have to be able to prove that there was good reason to go in and search it.
Which they don't have. And then finally, the third thing they would need is my permission. So if they ask for my permission, it would be, no, you don't have my permission. You may not look in my backpack. So you will never find out what's in my backpack.
I don't think he's ever been so possessive about something before. But don't you worry. We're going to find out what's in that backpack. Fourth Amendment might not help me out because the government can't search and take your things unless you have probable cause, a good reason, a search warrant, which is an official paperwork from the judge, or your permission. By the way, if for some reason you were ever in a situation where you were asked to let the government or the military or the police or anybody else of government nature to search your stuff, and they want your permission, say no. Even if you are the most innocent person on the planet, do not say yes, because you never know what could possibly happen or show up that somebody else might bring around your stuff. So always say no. That is the safest way to go. And if you ever get a search warrant for any reason or around one, make sure you read it. Don't just take the word for it, because search warrants are official paperwork that are very, very specific as to what can be searched. It'll say specific rooms if it's in a house, and it'll also tell you what they're looking for. So read it, because you do have rights in the Fourth Amendment that the government cannot search, nor can they take your belongings without probable cause, a search warrant, or your permission. So, Fourth Amendment, which brings us to the Fifth Amendment.
5 weeks later. 5 weeks.
Boy, we are terrible at the SpongeBob. 5 weeks later. 5 weeks later. We're talking about the Fifth Amendment, even though it's really like 5 times a minute later. That'd be 5 minutes later. 5 weeks later.
My leg.
Baby.
You know, I knew Mrs. Grau was really, really salty about my backpack. I knew
he's such a wimp.
Knew that she wanted to know it was the backpack, but I was not letting her know.
Maybe he shouldn't be so stubborn.
But I didn't think she'd run me over in her car and crush my legs.
Lies.
So I was so badly injured, but I did have my cell phone on me, and I dialed 911, and
he's so badly injured that he showed up to a park today.
I'm telling you, she ran over, and I called the police, and they arrested her. That was awesome, seeing Mrs. Grau cuffed and stuffed. Oh, that hurts.
Totally not cool. I'm sitting there on my couch, and I get this knock on the door. I think it's the police coming to search my stuff, but they're not there to search my stuff. They're there to arrest me. Says some Looney Tune named Mr. Hamilton.
There's a new teacher,
That's going to be your replacement. Who I thought was my friend, who clearly is now my enemy, is saying I ran over him and broke his leg. Lies. But when I got arrested, they're following that process. They stick me in the back of the car. I say nothing. I keep my mouth shut. They take me to the police station. They haul me off into this room, and they sit me down. Has one window. I know it's double-sided. Somebody's watching me on the other side, and they ask me all these questions. Do you like Mr. Hamilton? What did he do to you? Why are you so mean to him? Did you run him over with your car? Why would you want to break his leg? All these things. Why do you want to know what's in his backpack, when really they should be asking him what's in his backpack? But I pled the Fifth, because my Fifth Amendment right, the first part, because there's 5 parts in the Fifth Amendment, the first part in the Fifth Amendment says you have the right to not testify against yourself, which means they can ask as many questions as they want, and I don't have to answer them, because my first right in the Fifth Amendment says I can plead the Fifth. So those of you that watch all those crime shows, they actually do that when they say, I plead the Fifth, and they say nothing. Yes, it might make you look guilty, but it is your right to not testify against yourself. And I'm not going to admit nor deny, even though Mr. Hamilton's being a baby on crutches.
I'm so much pain.
Why do guys always complain so much when they're sick or injured?
But you know
babies.
What Mrs. Grau didn't know was they got her tire track, you know, the one that was all over my leg. They had witnesses. They investigated. And sure enough, I got to see the tape of her going before the grand jury.
Grand jury. That's a really big fancy court.
The grand jury is where they identify, is there enough evidence to proceed with the trial? And whoa, that grand jury said, we got plenty of evidence.
They did that really fast. They didn't get all kinds of evidence.
Mrs.
They cannot prove anything.
Mrs. Grau had to go to court. She had to face a judge. She gonna go jail. She gonna go jail.
Unfortunately, your second right in the Fifth Amendment is that you do have the right to go to grand jury, where they have to prove they have enough evidence. Unfortunately, I guess they had enough to take me to court, but
wouldn't you know it, that Karen's best friend, Cindy Lou,
man, he's really drinking the Christmas punch,
was the judge on that very day. and happens to like Mrs. Grau. In fact, she was so excited.
She interrupted her own wedding to come help me out.
She came from her own wedding and to be the judge for the trial against Mrs. Grau, and found Mrs. Grau not guilty in like 10 minutes, even though she just ignored all kinds of evidence. So Mrs.
And
Grau
she's smiling about
guilty.
it too. And we can't put her arm down because it's stuck in a waving position.
So I don't think it was fair, but nevertheless, in the court of law, Mrs. Grau was found not guilty.
Not guilty. Did you hear that? Not guilty. Not guilty. I just got proven in the court of law that I did not run over Mr. Hamilton with any kind of vehicle. Ha! Now you gotta show me what's in your backpack.
I won't look at it.
And fake, he's off his crutches. Fraud.
I'm gonna get you, Grau.
Fraud. People like that, man. I got the wrong hand up again. So far, just to clarify, we've been going all through the Fifth Amendment. First right is you have the right to not testify against yourself. The second right in the Fifth Amendment is you have the right to a grand jury trial where they have to prove there's enough evidence to take you to trial. And number 3 is due process of the law. Due process. That is spelled D-U-E, which means the government has to follow the process of the law. They cannot skip steps. And unfortunately for them, they didn't spend a lot of time finding evidence to take me to trial. So I went to trial and I was found innocent. Only I thought I was in the clear until a couple days after I got home, and I'm still trying to find out what's in Mr. Hamilton's backpack. I get this phone call that they found a video. Somebody nearby where the accident supposedly happened has one of those dumb Ring doorbell things and recorded me, supposedly. Oops, fingers. Supposedly, that's air quotes. Supposedly recorded me running over Mr. Hamilton with my car. So I watched the video, and what I saw was Mr. Hamilton sitting in his backyard enjoying the sunset with his alter ego. It's his disguise because it looks nothing like him. And oh my gosh, my car runs him over, and then it tries to hit him again, only it can't seem to hit him, and it goes around in circles. And then oh my gosh, it runs over him again, and then the car backs up and tries to hit him again, I think. And then I drive away. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be in so much trouble because this video footage proves that I actually ran him over. I didn't mean to hurt him, but I still don't think he's that hurt. And unfortunately for him, though, there's this fourth right. It's the third right in the Fifth Amendment that says due process, which means the government has to follow the process of the law. So it's spelled D-U-E. And in due process, they have to, once they arrest a suspect, I guess that's me today, then they have to collect all their evidence, and then they go to trial. They can't skip around and jump steps. And unfortunately, this time, they already went through the trial before they got this evidence. So I think I'm pretty lucky that they can't do anything about it because of due process, which protects me from them not following the process of the law.
I know she's definitely guilty. They got that videotape and everything on Mrs. Grau. I know they're going to find her guilty now, and she's going to go to jail for a long, long time.
Lies.
You don't have to worry about that vicious teacher in your classroom. But wouldn't you know it, there's a little thing that's called double jeopardy.
That is the fourth right. The fourth right you have in the Fifth Amendment is double jeopardy, like double bubble gum, but double jeopardy, but not like the game show Jeopardy, like double jeopardy.
So because she was found not guilty, she can't be found guilty for the same crime twice, that evil, twisted Mrs. Grau. And so because of that, she won't go to jail for running over my legs and making me permanently in so much pain.
Lies. double jeopardy saved me again. You cannot be tried for the same crime twice, which is a beautiful thing about our Constitution. So if you were ever taken to court for anything and you were found innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter. But if you're found innocent and they find more evidence after the fact, after the court case is done and the trial is over, it can never be used against you. However, if Mr. Hamilton still won't show me what's in his backpack and I happen to maybe run him over again, that's a new crime. Might be the same type of crime, but it is still a new crime. So let's recap your Fifth Amendment rights. There are 5 of them. The first one is you have the right to not testify against yourself. The second one is grand jury indictment. You have the right to be protected where they have to prove there's enough evidence to take you to trial. The third one is due process, which means the government has to follow the process of the law. The fourth one is double jeopardy. You cannot be tried for the same crime twice, which brings us to me getting off scot-free for maybe or maybe not.
Oh my gosh! Did you hear that?
What is that car crash? What's going on? That's a lot of cars that crashed together. It's like a 50-car pile up in Madison. That's not a good thing.
Oh my gosh! Did you see all the cars that crashed up there on the road? Did you see how many cars? That's dangerous up there. That road is far, far too narrow. What do we do about that? I hear that there's car crashes there all the time. Maybe we should just close the road.
No, you can't close a road.
We got to close
the road.
You have
to fix the problem.
It's too dangerous.
You have to fix the problem.
How do we fix the problem?
Well, thankfully, in the Fifth Amendment, that would be Fifth Amendment, the fifth right that you have, it is called eminent domain. Now, I'm going to spell this in the chat box so that you know how to spell eminent domain.
I'm an enemy.
Okay, Nemo. We're just hitting all of Disney today. So, eminent domain, which is the fifth right in the Fifth Amendment, means that the government can take your property, your private property, as long as it is used for public use and it is for the greater good. But they have to pay you for it, and they have to pay you fair market value for it. So, in this case, when a road needs to be widened because of accidents or a lot of problems or just to accommodate the bigger size of our vehicles, then they can come by and say, we're going to take some of your property, widen the road, but they have to pay you for that road, which this has happened quite a bit in Ohio.
I-90, all the interstates, they weren't put in there until the 1960s. And in order to acquire all that land to put in all those interstates like I-90, they had to use eminent domain to purchase eminent domain to purchase all that property from all the farmers and landowners so that they could put in those gigantic highways. So it was quite a large undertaking, and the federal government spent a lot of money to acquire all that land. So anytime the government needs to take the land, they got to prove that it's for public use, but they got to pay you fair market value.
Which kind of stinks if it's your land they're taking, but it does happen. So eminent domain is your fifth right, and it's protecting you so the government just can't take your property. It makes it so they do have to pay you for it. And they also have to prove that it is for public use and not something that they just want to do. So we have now covered the
Third Amendment, which is?
Third Amendment is you do not have to quarter soldiers, which means house and feed soldiers in your home unless we're in the middle of wartime and you have permission to do so. The next amendment we covered is number 4, which means
no illegal search or seizure. They need to have a warrant to look through their stuff. There has to be probable cause, or they have to have your permission, which you never, ever, ever want to give them their permission.
Which brings us to the Fifth Amendment with 5 rights in it. Right number 1. Wow, my gloves are like shredding out here with this stuff.
Your teaching is on fire. No wonder.
It's like those ninja skills.
We're going back to that ninja thing.
Right? Or, yeah, not going there. So, Fifth Amendment, the first right is you have the right to not testify against yourself. You can keep your mouth shut, which is where those Miranda rights come from. You have the right to remain silent. Right number 2 in the Fifth Amendment is
you have a right to grand jury. They have got to present enough evidence to proceed with the trial.
And number 3 is due process. The government has to follow the process of the law. They cannot skip steps. They cannot sentence you to life in prison without taking you to trial first. They have to go in order. And if they skip any parts of the order, then everything gets thrown out. And number 4
is no double jeopardy. You cannot be tried for the same crime twice.
Which means Mrs. Grau gets off scot-free for supposedly run over Mr.
I just hope
Hamilton.
the guilt settles over your soul for the rest of your life.
Oh, where'd your crutches go, Mr. Hamilton? Oh. You're so injured. And the fifth part of the Fifth Amendment is eminent domain.
Oh, eminent domain. They could take your land.
Who's they?
The government.
We always talk about how you have to say who they are.
Jimmy could take your land, if you know what I mean.
Jimmy.
Right? The government could take your land for public use. They got to give a reason why they're using it, and they got to pay you fair market value.
Which is not like $100. It's like way more than that. And in those cases for eminent domain, you will see a lot of times they will offer a lot more money than what is fair market value just to get you to leave quicker. So, Fifth Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment. We have now covered amendments number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10.
Which ones are we missing?
I don't know. You're the math expert.
I'm not a math teacher. I'm the right brain, right? I'm seeing numbers all over the place. I believe we're missing 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
I wonder what we haven't covered yet.
So Monday we're doing 6 and 7. Now, just as a reminder, your assignment is to attach your notes.
Justice.
Ooh, that's a great segue.
That's a great segue.
But we'll wait till Monday to deal with that. First, we need to clarify what you're doing for your assignment, because we've been looking at your notes for the last couple of days, and while you might be good at taking notes, you are terrible at taking pictures. Make sure when you're attaching the pictures of your notes that we can actually see what you wrote, because we are not those teachers that are just going to give you a grade for turning it in. We actually read them and grade them.
I got a lot of kids that are turning them in like Doodle Bob.
Doodle Bomb.
Doodle Bob.
Oh, Doodle Bob. What is that?
Oh,
I don't know. No, I don't even want to know.
Mrs. Grau does not know what Doodle Bob is. She is like getting so old. Oh my gosh. Doodle Bob. Yoing, 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 yoing.
Oh my gosh, I'm a little bit concerned.
Just a little bit.
Anyways, take a quality picture of your assignment that we can actually read and grade and then give you points on. Attach it to your assignment.
What does quality mean? That's
quality means word. We can read it. Also, your note should include not only the rights that are in those amendments, but also what they mean and maybe some examples. It should be clear that you got your information from our lovely teaching and not the internet.
Final thought is that the lines on your notebook paper are there for a reason, not just a suggestion. All right, so don't just go all over the place, so I can actually read them.
For my class, it's okay if you go all over the place as long as I can follow them, because when you take notes, they should be taken for yourself so that you can find the information, not necessarily for us. But I better be able to read it.
Accuracy. Thank you very much.
Accuracy has nothing to do with legibility.
Oh, well.
Ooh, big words. He's got a process. Anyways, so 3rd, 4th, 5th Amendment we covered today. And have a great weekend. Turn your assignment in. See ya on Monday, but not in Madison.